technical terms we are discussing with machines. Okay. So till now we have discussed effort, load, okay, and we have discussed the mechanical advantage. Okay. Mechanical advantage is nothing but load upon effort. Okay. So we are applying some force, we are applying some force to overcome some force, that is doing some work. Okay, that is the load. And mechanical advantage we have discussed, that is load upon effort. And we have seen the three different cases: when greater than one, less than one, equal to one. Okay. So aim of the machine is depending on this. Okay. Next, we have discussed velocity ratio. Velocity ratio is that velocity ratio is the velocity moved by the velocity of the effort to the velocity of the load. And since time taken is same in both the cases, so we have reduced this velocity ratio to the distance moved by the effort to the distance moved by the load. Again, we have seen the different three cases: less than one, it is acting as a gain in speed, and those all three we have discussed. Okay. Work input have we discussed? Work input. Work input means we have the machine, and by effort we apply the effort. So how much work the effort is doing, that is the work done. How much effort the work is doing on the machine, that is work input. Work done on the machine by the effort is called as input work. Okay. So this is W input. Work done by the effort on the machine, that is work input. Now, since we have done work on the machine, now this work in return will do the work on the load. Okay, that is work output. Work output is work done by the machine on the load, that is work output. This is clear. Work input, work done by the effort on the machine. Like we have the spanner we have. So we are applying effort on the spanner, that is we are doing work on the spanner. Okay. And now this spanner in turn will do work on. We are doing work on the spanner. Spanner in turn will do work on the load. That is work done by the machine on the load. That is called as work output. This is clear. Now next we discuss is efficiency. Efficiency denotes that how much of the effort has been converted to load. That is how much work we have done on the machine. Now, how much part of it is doing on the load. Okay. If the machine is 100% efficient, it means whatever effort we have done, work done we have done on the machine, that will be equal to the work done on the load by the machine. This is clear. So efficiency. Efficiency, it's the ratio. Efficiency is the ratio between the work output, that is how much work is done by the machine on the load, to the work input, that is how much work the effort is doing on the machine. Okay. And see here, okay, this is the ratio, and mainly we represent in percentage. That is, if it is efficiency of a machine is 80%, it means work input, we are doing the work input of that.
Excuse
80%.
me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, what will check for unit test 5 marks?
Notebook, numericals.
Okay, sir.
Have you completed the numericals in notebook? Those will be checked. Okay, only numericals.
Yes, sir. Everything.
Yes.
Sir,
Good.
everything is completed total.
That's good. Okay.
Sir,
So
book it.
okay.
So when you
So
will check?
let's leave to me.
So when you will check?
Okay. You have this whole week. I'll ask one day to send you. Okay. You may send in PDF on. Okay.
Sir,
Or
today I
if
can send.
no, don't send today.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I'll tell the date. Okay. So prepare work. So still you have 1 week. Okay. I'll ask you after that. Okay. Till Friday, I'm not going to ask. Till this Friday, I'm not going to ask. Okay. Okay, so we are discussing efficiency. Efficiency mainly it is denoted by eta. Okay, it is denoted by eta. So eta is nothing but work output. How much work the machine does on the load to the work input. That is how much effort, how much work we are doing on the machine. Okay, effort is doing on the machine. This is okay, and mainly we denote in percentage. So 100%. And this efficiency does not have any unit. It is unitless. Always remember it is unitless. This is clear. Next we discuss principle of machine. Okay, principle of machine says that whatever, okay, principle of machine, according to the principle of machine, work output. If it is idle case, that is our machine is idle. So whatever output work is, that will be equal to the work input. It means how much work we are doing on the machine will do the same amount of work on the load. It is in the idle case. Work output is equal to work input. So it is based on the principle of conservation of energy. It is based on the principle of conservation of energy. That is how much energy we are providing to the machine. The same energy it will be, with the same energy that will be available at the load. The same energy will be available at the load end. Okay. So when we are doing the input work, so we do work at some point on the machine. At some point on the machine, we do the work. That is, we apply effort at some point on the machine. That point is called as effort point. That point is called as effort point. We'll be doing some work on the effort point. For example, here we apply effort. So this will be the effort point. Whereas the point at which the machine does the work or the load is there. So that will be the load point. That will be the load point. So point at which energy is supplied to the machine. Energy is supplied to the machine by the effort. That is called as effort point. Whereas load point is the point where the energy is obtained by overcoming the load. That will be the load point. Okay, these points are clear. Okay, so for idle case, work input will be equal to work output will be equal to work input. But since practically no machine is idle, that means work input is always more than the work output. That means how much energy we are providing to the machine, some energy will be utilized to overcome the friction, or heat may be generated, or some other form of energy it may get converted, and work output is always less than work input. This is clear? So input energy or the input work, we can say, both will be equal. Both are the same unit. So input energy is how much? Work done at the effort point? Yes or no? Input energy is same as the work done. Input energy, that is the work done. And where we are doing the work? At the effort point. At effort point. Okay. Now, how much is the work done at the effort point? We are doing the work. What we are doing? We are moving this effort point from this to here. We are moving the effort points. So there is a displacement of the effort point. So work done is how much? Effort is nothing but the force applied. Force into distance is the work done. Force into distance is the work done. So effort into distance moved by the, or displacement, you can say, displacement of the effort point, or displacement of the point of application of the effort. We are applying effort here, so it's the displacement of the point of the application of the effort. Okay, effort into DE, you can say. That is effort into displacement of the point where the effort is being applied. Displacement of this point. Okay. Now, what will be the output load? That is output energy. That will be work done at the load point. This time the machine will be doing work done at load point. And this time the machine is doing this work. Okay. How much it will be? load into displacement of the point where the load is being applied. That is, it is overcoming the load. Displacement of the point of application of the load. How much it is being displaced into dl. This is clear? Okay. So when it is idle, when machine is idle, input work, that is input energy equal to output energy. They will be equal. That is, work done at the effort point is same as the work done at the load point. Whatever work we are doing on the machine will do the same amount of work on the load. Okay. So they will be equal. But since our machine is not idle, that is, it is not having the smooth parts. The parts in the machines will be there. There will be friction. They may not be elastic. They may not be easy. Because of that, there is always some loss of energy due to friction or any other form of energy. There is a loss. So always this output energy is always less than input energy. This output energy is always less than input energy. So in actual machines, because mainly there are three reasons. Because of that, output energy is always less than input energy. First one is given in your book. The moving parts in machine are neither wetless nor smooth. Neither they are wetless nor smooth. No smooth means there's always friction between the parts, moving parts. And weightless, because of weightless, they are not weightless. There will be some energy wasted in rotating them or moving them. So some energy will be wasted there. Second, the string used, that is, string used in machines is not elastic. It means it gets deformed slightly. The string, it cannot resist the change. The string should not resist the change. So here, some energy is wasted in changing the and deforming the string. That is, some energy is wasted in the string. How? In deforming it, or it is changed. That is, slightly change happens in the string. Okay. So string is not elastic. It means string is not able to resist the change. Because whenever we are applying the effort, so see what happens. For example, consider this pen. Okay. As I am applying effort, it may happen slight bit, it may bend. It means this spanner is not elastic much. There is slight bit bend. So that energy won't be available at the load end. That energy won't be available at the load end. So that is why output energy will be less than input energy. Third one, it is not rigid. That is, it can bend, it can deform. Okay. Mainly that string part, it's like this. You are applying and string is there. So when you are applying force, you have applied the effort, this string gets slight bit elongated. Okay. It wasn't able to resist the change. It wasn't able to resist the change. It get elongated. Okay. So that energy won't be available at the load end. So always the output energy is less than the input energy. This is clear. So there is always a loss of energy. Okay. If I say machine is 90% efficient, it means if I am applying 100%, out of that, 90 will go to at the load end. It will do the work on the load, whereas 10% will be loss of energy. That is overcoming the friction or deformation or anything. Those all, it will be loss. This is clear? This is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next one, we discuss relationship between, okay, efficiency, mechanical advantage, and velocity ratio. Okay. So what is efficiency? Nita we denote, okay? Efficiency is nothing but work output.
Input
Work
was
output.
one output
Work
was
in
200.
Work input. Okay. In 200 you want to put, or that's up to you.
The work
Okay.
output upon
It's
work input.
Okay, it's in ratio. If you want to have in percentage, into 100% you can do. Okay, it's a ratio. Efficiency we can apply in ratio as well. It's in ratio as well. We can say, for example, it is 9/10 or 0.9. It means 0.9 divided by 1. If input is 1, output is 0.9. That is 0.1 is wastage. Or in percentage, multiply with 100, put percentage sign, 90%. It means 90% of the energy is used at the load end is okay. Rest 10% is wastage. That is, it's the energy loss. Understood now? In terms of ratio, it can be 0.9 or 0.7. It can be 0.9 divided by 2, 7 by 2 as well. It can be in ratio. Okay. In percentage, we can convert. So efficiency can be mentioned in this ratio form, or in percentage as well we can convert. So it is never more than 100%. Always remember. Efficiency cannot be more than 100%. Because always work has to be done on the machine, then only this machine is going to do the work on the load. Okay. So what is work input? What is work? Force into displacement that we have studied. So work is nothing but work input, effort, how much force we are applying on the machine, and how much it has displaced. That is displacement done by the effort. Displacement by the effort is displacement of effort point, you can say, or displacement of effort. Okay. That is, for example, this is the spanner. How much this effort has moved from here to here. We have this effort point has moved. Displacement of the effort. Okay. So effort is E into what is displacement? We denote E. Displacement of the effort. Okay. Work output. Now this time load into displacement of the load. Displacement of load. This is clear. Now load is the force only, force into displacement, force into dl. This is clear. Work input divided by work output. Okay. So efficiency neta equal to work output L into dl divided by E into dE. This will be our efficiency. Okay, let me write here. This is our efficiency. Okay, I'm rubbing this part. Okay, and what is mechanical advantage? Mechanical advantage, load upon
effort.
Load by effort.
velocity ratio, velocity of the effort divided by velocity of the load, or we can say T upon dl. Okay, T upon T, dl upon T. So T get cancelled, we got this one. Now see here, we can we write it like this: load upon effort into 1 upon dl upon d upon dl. Okay, we can write it like this. dl we are taking in denominator, so dl. Okay, so neta will be what? L upon E, load upon effort. What is it? Is mechanical advantage into what is d upon dl? Velocity ratio. So efficiency is nothing but ratio of mechanical advantage to velocity of ratio, velocity ratio. Okay, it is like this. Now see here, mainly in machines, this velocity ratio is constant. That is, whatever velocity ratio is not changing. What is changing? Mechanical advantage. If so, efficiency depends mainly on mechanical advantage. How much force we are applying, and out of that, how much is being available at the load end. So mechanical advantage for practical machine, that is due to friction or due to body parts of the body are not rigid, or if a string or a strip is used that is not elastic. In that case, this mechanical advantage will be less than 1. Will be less. This mechanical advantage will be less, and because of that, efficiency reduces. Because of that, efficiency reduces. This is clear. So we can say mechanical advantage equal to velocity ratio into neta. Okay. You can also write it like this. So for idle machine, what will be the mechanical advantage? It will be 1. It will be 1. Efficiency is 100%. Velocity ratio. Okay. But since our machine is not idle, that means mechanical advantage is always less than 1. Due to friction, some energy is lost, or due to moving parts are not rigid, or some deformation takes place in the moving parts, little bit deformation. Because of that, our efficiency is never equal to 1 in practical cases. Okay. So go through it once if you have any doubt. So we have completed up to here. Levers are not in syllabus. Okay.
Sir, no doubt. Sir, not syllabus, not in syllabus lever.
Not in syllabus. Levers are not in syllabus.
Yes, sir, what you are telling. Sir, good news.
Good news. Levers are not in syllabus. One more
Okay,
good
sir.
news you have also on. So levers 3.5, 3.6, and 3.7. They are not in syllabus. So up to here, our first part completes. So what all we have discussed till now? Shekhar, please
Sir,
mute
what
yourself.
3.5? Sir, which 3.5?
1 minute, 1 minute. Okay. Please mute yourself.
Sir,
So
up to where
3.1
up to where?
up to etc. you have to study. Find
Sir, up to
etc.
3. Sir,
3.4.
full.
3.4 you have to study. 3.5 after 3.5 you don't have to study. Levers you don't have to study. So whether it's lever, kind of levers, you don't have to study. Or examples also you don't have to study. Kinds of levers and last examples of each class of levers you don't have to study. Levers are not in syllabus. First class, second class, third class, they are not in syllabus. So levers are not in syllabus. So up to here you only have to study. Note is given. That note up to here you have to study. Okay. So actual machines, because of the three reasons, there is a loss of energy. First reason, the moving parts in it are neither weightless nor smooth. They are not weightless or smooth. Smoothness, friction will always be there. Not weightless, that is some energy is wasted in moving them. Okay. Second, string in it is not perfectly elastic. It is not. If it is not elastic, that means it is not able to resist the change. When a force applied, change will take place. Elastic means the ability to resist the change. That is, the body should not get deformed. You have seen, for example, you go for the floor mill. You have seen the floor mills, and here we have the motor, and there is a belt. Okay, there's a belt. You have seen the belt. The motor moves because of
Yes,
that.
sir.
This belt moves, it rotates the floor mill. Okay, so it means this belt. If it is not elastic, it means as it rotates, it will get deformed a little bit, and because of that, some energy will be lost in deforming the body, and less energy will be available here. And maybe because of some friction, like between some parts are there as a rotating parts, some friction will be there. Yes. Anything you want to ask?
7 is, so 3.7 is not in syllabus.
Yes, I'll be telling. 3.5 is not in syllabus. So we'll start from machine 3.1. We will discuss different kinds of machines, wrench,
Yes.
pulley, etc. We have discussed crowbar, etc. all. Then functions of the simple machines we have discussed, functions and uses of simple machines. That is as a force multiplier or increasing speed, that is gaining speed, changing the direction or point of application. Those are the functions. Next, technical terms we have discussed. First, we discuss the load, which we have to do the work on, or the resistive load that is to be overcome. Effort, the force which is applied. Then mechanical advantage we have discussed. Okay. Then we have discussed the velocity ratio, work input, work output, efficiency, principle of a machine is in syllabus. Relationship between efficiency, mechanical advantage, and velocity ratio is in syllabus. Up to there only. You have to study. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, numericals we have to do. So, okay, first one, numericals. Let's do the numericals. So go through the question answers and find. Okay, numericals as well, they are kind of mixed, like in levers as well. So from the numericals, we have to leave the lever part. Okay, like if the questions are on efficiency, if the questions are on mechanical advantage, if they are on velocity ratio, we have to attempt. If they are asking which kind of lever it is or that kind of lever, you have to skip that. Okay. So first one, a crowbar length
Sir,
120 centimeters.
Sir, all are of liver only, sir. Sir, many are
Here,
of liver.
Lever, yes, they are, but some numericals they are mainly
Sir,
based
you
on
tell.
CS.
Sir, you tell which is. Sir, you tell which is we have to
Okay,
do.
So let's do some of them, and afterwards I will go through them once, and I will let you know. Okay. So, like see here, in fourth question, it is written to which class of lever does it belong? Don't do the A part. B and C you can do. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Which class? That way we can go for. Okay. A crowbar of length 120 centimeter has its fulcrum situated at a distance of 20 centimeter from the load. So we are having a crowbar. So it is the fulcrum. Please mute yourself once. Okay. Fulcrum we have the length crowbar of length 120 centimeters has its fulcrum situated at a distance of 20 centimeter from the load. So here we have the load. So this is 20 centimeter. The whole length is 120 centimeter. Now how much is the effort away from this one? 100 centimeter. So this is DE, this is DL. These are given. Total length is 120 centimeters. And fulcrum is 20 centimeter from the load. That means DL equal to 20. Remaining distance will be our DE, distance of the effort. Okay. And you have to calculate the mechanical advantage of the crowbar. It's lever only. It's lever only.
Sir.
Effort arm upon load arm.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, what is crowbar?
Crowbar. Okay. You have seen. It's a road light. You have seen a road. We mainly use a road or wooden stick we use to displace. So how you displace, for example, this stone you have to displace. So you put a small stone and then you take a long wood or iron rod and then you apply force here and it moves, it shifts. Okay, this is nothing but crowbar. Crowbar is little bit different. It's a shape like this. Like this. So here we can insert it below the load and now this will be the fulcrum and you can move. It's given somewhere in book as well.
Sir, in game of Granny, it came crowbar.
I don't know that. Okay, move. See here, page number 52. Page number 52. Class 1 levers.
Yes,
The
sir.
fulcrum is situated
Sir,
at
3.2 figure.
3.2 figure. You have seen the crowbar. That's crowbar. Crowbar, seesaw, pliers, spade, there's all. Okay. Okay. In this class, how we remember first class, second class, third class levers. Fully? So in first class levers, fulcrum is situated in between the and second class lever load is in between and FLA. In last third class lever, effort is in between. Okay, that's how we remember first, second, and third class levers. Now they are not in syllabus. Okay. So numericals we will discuss. I will find them out once. Okay.
Sir, you tell sir that which you want to do. Sir, you tell.
Okay. First one it's related with levers. Second one is the levers, but you can do it as well through that because your efficiency you have to consider one. Now mechanical advantage equal to velocity ratio. Using that you can do. So D upon
Sir, we can
DL.
do all, sir, but which we want to do, sir? Like this, you tell, sir.
Okay. See here, these numericals you can do it using this ratio as well. Here you are considering these all ideal machines. Mechanical advantage equal to velocity ratio. It means mechanical advantage can be also defined as DE upon DL. That is 100 upon 20. That is 5. So you can do the first one as well using that. Second one as well you can do. Okay, I have to go through them. Mainly, I think these numericals all are related with levers only.
Sir, in test, you cannot, sir, you will now not give all these questions.
Okay, I'll tell you tomorrow. Okay, let me discuss with other teachers as well. Okay, which all numericals you have to give. Because if I see, we can do all through the technical terms only. Technical terms we already discussed. We all not only this. What we have discussed is what are levers and kinds of levers. So if we see only the technical terms, those all numericals can be completed. Just the kinds of levers we can't.
Don't
So any
give
doubt you have,
numbers.
you may ask. Any doubt you have, you may ask now.
No, sir.
No doubt in this.
Sir, we can leave.
Okay, then today you can live.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Always
Yes,
remember
sir.
mechanical advantage, it has no unit. This velocity ratio, it has no unit as well. Neta, that is efficiency, no unit.